I want to talk to you guys today about your healthcare provider or your doctor or your neurologist. I want you to learn today about the financial relationships that drug and medical device companies have with healthcare providers. So, in essence, is your doctor getting extra compensation from a drug company or a medical device company? That's what today's episode is all about. It will blow your mind. So listen in. Are you struggling with multiple sclerosis, or you have a loved one who's been diagnosed and you're searching for more answers outside your typical medical system? You're not alone. Your intuition is telling you there's more information out there, and you're right. Hi, I'm Adrienne. I'm a certified integrative nutrition health coach, author, and speaker. I'm also somebody who has reversed and healed all of my own MS symptoms and can get you there too. Are you ready to dive in? I am. Let's go. All right, today I want to talk to you about something I just learned recently, and this is in the last 2 days. And I had a feeling that my neurologist was getting some kickbacks from some drug companies. And the reason I had that feeling is because back then, 10 years ago, when I was diagnosed with MS, I was getting steroid infusions. That was my first treatment and only treatment, thank goodness. But while I was getting that infusion, there was a really nice nurse who was helping me and who was helping other patients in that room with different kinds of infusions. But she knew that I had MS, and she came up to me and she said, I have MS too. You might want to go to this doctor's or your doctor's event here in town, and here's a flyer on it. So I took it and I said, oh, thank you so much. Well, the flyer was on a speaking event from my neurologist. And I thought, yeah, I'll go to it. I want to learn as much as possible. So this event was about a week or so away, and my husband and I went. I'm pretty sure it was on a Saturday, because it was during the lunch hour. It was in between like noon and 3. It was somewhere in there. It was like a 2-hour presentation. And so when we got there, we were seated. And by the way, it was at a really nice restaurant in town. So I live in Fort Collins, Colorado. And this was in a large room with her projector on one end. And then there were about like 7 tables, round tables with tablecloths. And so patients that came in had MS. So people came in wheelchairs, with walkers, with canes. I felt like a fish out of water for sure, because I didn't have any walking issues, thank goodness. But we were served water, iced tea, appetizers, and these appetizers were fancy. This was a nice restaurant, and this was on the house. So I remember, I think we got fried calamari. I think we had, bread and some other foods. Think of what kind of fancy appetizers you would get at a nice restaurant. That's what was served. So each table got about 3. And if those people at that table finished one of those, another one was brought. So anyway, she started the presentation and she talked about MS. And then she went into talking about one MS drug, only one drug. And then she finished the presentation. And afterwards, I thought, why would she just offer information on one drug? Because I knew there were lots of other MS drugs at the time. And this is when I was naive. This is before I knew that we don't have to take drugs to get well. We can get well naturally. We can get well with diet, exercise, mental health, and self-care. These are things that I teach in my course. But anyway, back then, I had no idea. I was clueless. But it did raise a flag for me. I thought, why would she just talk about one drug? And then it got me thinking later. I thought, she's probably paid by that drug company to put on that presentation. And that drug company probably rented this room and paid for all the food that was given to us. And she was paid to give the presentation. And I know that I'm right. And I just learned about this website recently. So the last 10 years or so, doctors have to disclose the amount of money that these drug companies and medical device companies are paying them. And so if you go to their website called openpaymentsdata.cms.gov, and I will put this in the show notes. So you can put in this website, put in your doctor's name, and it will show you how much extra money these doctors are getting from these companies. So guess what? So I found out recently that my neurologist that I had way back then, just last year in 2024, made an extra $877,000 and some change just from these companies. This is not her average or what she's making just as being a doctor annually. This is extra. And I also found out that in 2019 and 2020, she made close to $1.5 million from these companies extra. So this is mind-blowing to me. But it's so great that they have to disclose this, but most people don't know about this. So these doctors are making some, not all, some are making a lot of extra money pushing these drugs and pushing these extra medical devices. And on the website, it tells you how they make their money. And I'll go over different ways. So these companies, these drug companies and medical device companies, give money by giving a hospital a research grant or by paying a doctor or a nurse to speak at a conference. This is what my doctor did. She spoke at a restaurant. These companies will also bring lunch to healthcare workers during a pharmaceutical sales rep visit. They can also buy ownership share in a company owned by a physician. So in a hospital, they can actually be a part investor in a hospital. They can also invest partly in a physician's company or practice. They also donate funding to a hospital for expansion. And of course, a hospital is going to take that money, right? They will also hire a physician to advertise on a new treatment in development. And they will also give hospitals and doctors promotional materials for a new drug or a device. So that's the way a lot of these other companies pay doctors and hospitals more money. So go to the website, openpaymentsdata.cms.gov, plug in your neurologist's name or your doctor's name and see what kind of extra money they're getting. And know that you can heal without drugs. You can take my 12-week program that is so affordable, and I can teach you what kind of foods you need to eat and what kind of lifestyle you need to have in order to heal yourself. I promise you, drugs are not needed. I am living proof, and so are dozens of other people that I know who have also healed themselves without drugs. So I hope this episode has maybe blown your mind a little bit or opened your eyes as to what's happening out there. And I want you to take your power back. You have total control over your healing, and I want you to take advantage of it. Are you on the fence and wondering if you can heal and would like some support from somebody who's been in your shoes? You can absolutely heal, and I can walk you through my 12-week program. Change is hard, but I've made it much easier to modify your dietary habits and other lifestyle changes like body movement, emotional health, and self-care. I'm with you all the way, so just hop onto my website, nourishyourway.com, and navigate to the Work With Me page. You can either sign up there or apply for a 30-minute free call with me if you have any questions. Taking action is the first step, and I'm behind you. Also, if you like this podcast, please share it to somebody else who might be struggling. I'm so happy to be a guiding light for you, and I'll be back in a few days.